Hello student, my name is Nimesh Prabhakar. I am Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in Instrumentation and Control Department. Welcome to Process Control Lecture Series. Today we are going to discuss about mass balance and energy balance. In my previous lecture, I discussed about the mathematical modeling. We see the different type of mathematical model like theoretical model, empirical model, semi-empirical model, and example of that model. Now in this lecture we discuss about the first mass balance and then energy balance. So let's start. So conservation principle. So what is conservation principle and what is the equation of conservation principle? So general term conservation principle equation is rate of accumulation is equals to rate of input minus rate of output plus rate of generation. So this is a general equation of conservation principle. Now if we talk about in terms of mass conservation, so we can write this equation as rate of mass accumulation is equals to rate of mass input minus rate of mass output. Here in the most of time in this equation rate of mass generation term is not considered. Now next one is the conservation principle of energy. So for the energy conservation we can write this equation as rate of energy accumulation is equals to rate of energy input minus rate of energy output plus rate of energy generation. So this is a basic equation for mass conservation and energy conservation. In this chapter we will not discuss about the momentum conservation. So here we discuss only two property, mass and energy. So we will discuss about the mass conservation and energy conservation. So now to understand mass conservation we take one example. So consider this is a liquid tank system. Here Fi is indicate the inlet water flow rate or input water flow rate. This is a Fi and this is a F0 or F. Here F is indicate the output water flow rate. That means here this is a inlet water flow rate and this is a outlet water flow rate. Now to understand the mass conservation principle, we give input if Fi is considered as a 10 kg per second. That means inlet water flow rate is the 10 kg per second. And now we consider the outlet water flow rate is 8 kg per second. So according to the mass conservation principle, we can write rate of mass accumulation is equals to rate of mass input minus rate of mass output. Now here rate of mass input is 10 kg per second and rate of mass output is 8 kg per second. That means rate of mass accumulation inside this tank is equals to 10 minus 8. So we get 2. So here rate of accumulation, that means inside this tank is the 2. So we can write for simplification 2 is equals to 10 minus 8. That means rate of mass input is equals to 10. Rate of mass output is equals to 8. And rate of accumulation inside this tank, that means the water inside this tank flowing rate is the nothing but the rate of accumulation is equals to 2. So this is a mass conservation principle. So we can write mass is equals to rho into Q, where rho is nothing but the density of material and here Q indicate volume flow rate or is also called volumetric flow rate. So density of material into volumetric flow rate. So we get the mass flow rate. So by unit we can calculate. So mass flow rate unit is equals to, we know the mass unit is kg and flow rate. So we can denote the kg per second mass flow rate unit, and the density of material we can denote by kg by meter cube, and volume flow rate is, we can write unit as a meter cube upon second. So now we solve this equation. So meter cube is cancelled. So we get kg per second is equals to kg per second. So this is we can write m is equals to rho into q. Now to understand the energy conservation, we take one example of boiler. We know the function of water. The function of water is very simple, to convert the water into steam. So in the input we give water and the output we get steam. Now to convert this water into the steam, we have to give some energy, like some heat. Then it can possible to convert water into the steam. That means in a steam engine we give coal as a energy, as a fuel. So here we give some energy supply. Then some energy is also stored in boiler. That means due to some water is converted into the steam by help of this heat supply. But during this procedure, some energy is also stored in this boiler. So this is a boiler block diagram. Now we apply energy conservation principle here. So as per energy conservation principle, the definition or equation is rate of energy accumulation is equals to rate of energy input minus rate of energy output plus rate of energy generation. Now here we consider the rate of energy input. Here we give the water as a input, and the flow rate or the energy input we can say as a 10. And here we also give heat supply. So we consider here the 2 joule per kg is the heat supply. Here we give. Here the steam as an outlet we get the 9, and this is a stored energy in the boiler is a 3. Now to simplify this equation, so we can write this as a 3 is the accumulation inside this water, and the rate of energy input is the 10 minus rate of energy output here is the 9, and here the energy stored or the rate of energy generation is nothing but the 2 here. So this is a rate, this is a stored energy or nothing but the rate of energy accumulation here is the 3 is equals to input 10 minus output 9 plus here we give heat supply is 2. So we get here 3. So this is a energy conservation principle. So we see about the mass conservation and energy conservation. Now to better understand, we give another example. Like to mass conservation, we take liquid surge tank example. Here same as we consider the liquid tank. Here the Fi is the inlet water flow rate, F is the outlet water flow rate. Here consider F, not F0. Here the F is the output water flow rate. Now H indicate the height of liquid inside the tank. That means inside this tank the water level height is denoted by the H. Now A is the cross sectional area of the tank. That means the cross sectional area of the tank. Here the V is the volume of water in the tank. That means the total volume inside this tank is denoted by the V. And now according to the mass conservation principle, we can write rate of mass accumulation is equals to rate of mass input minus rate of mass output. So for this liquid surge tank, we can write as d by dt rho into V is equals to rho into Fi minus rho into F. Now we understand here the rho into V, that means we can multiply the density of material with the volume, so we get the mass, and d by dt is indicate the mass flow rate. Rho into V, so we get mass, and the d by dt is indicate the mass flow rate. Now here the rho multiply with the Fi, this is the inlet water flow rate, so we get the rate of mass input or the inlet water flow rate, and if we consider the outlet water density is the rho and the water flow rate is the F, so both multiplication we get the rate of mass output. So this is the basic equation of the liquid surge tank. Now to simplify this equation, here the rho and rho is a constant. We consider rho is a constant, so we can write the rho is the cancel, and the dV by dt is equals to Fi minus F. Now we can represent V, that means the volume is nothing but the V is equals to A into H. We know V is equals to A into H, that means the area into height, so we get volume. So here the A is constant and H is inside, so we get dH by dt Fi minus F. So this is a equation for the liquid surge tank. Okay. Now here the state variable is H. This is a state variable, and always state variable is come inside the accumulation term, that means in the left hand side. See, this is a accumulation term, and always state variable most of the time present in the accumulation term. Here the H is the state variable. Why H is state variable? Because it indicates the status of the system. That means it indicates the liquid status inside this tank. So this is a state variable, and this indicates if height is very close to overflow, that means the height is very close to overflow condition, then the status of the tank is going to overflow. Then if the height is very close to zero, that means height is decreased, then this status of this tank is indicate going to empty. So here H indicate the status of this system. Then therefore this is a state variable. So for this system H is the state variable. So this is the example of the mass conservation. Now for the energy conservation, we take another example, like this is an example of stir tank heater. Here the Fi, this Fi indicates the inlet water flow rate or the input fluid flow rate. Ti indicate the inlet water temperature. F is indicate here the output steam flow rate, and T is indicate the outlet water temperature. Sorry, here steam nahi. Here this is a water. So F indicate the outlet or the output water flow rate, and T indicate the outlet water temperature. Okay. Now here H is indicate same as the height of liquid inside this tank, and we consider the outlet water temperature and inside the tank water temperature is same. So T and T temperature both is the same. Now to increase the temperature inside this tank, we give the energy supply by Q here. So this is A is the indicate the cross-sectional area of the tank, and V indicate the volume of water in the tank. So this is the volume of the tank. So for this system, the mass balance is the same as we seen in the liquid level system. Now we talk about the energy conservation. So for the energy conservation, we can write rate of energy accumulation is equals to rate of energy input minus rate of energy output plus rate of energy generation. So from this figure, we can write as rate of energy accumulation is nothing but here V multiply by rho. So we get here the mass M, V multiply by rho, so we get mass into Cp बराबर specific heat into T. T is delta T, this is a temperature difference, T minus T reference. So here first term is indicate the rate of change of enthalpy content of the tank. That means inside this tank, this water inside this tank, the rate of change enthalpy, this denoted by this. So this is nothing but the simple equation mc delta T. Here m is the V into rho and C is the specific heat and the delta T is the temperature difference. Now first one term is indicate the enthalpy coming in input stream. That means in the input stream, the enthalpy coming is denoted by this is equation rho into Fi. So this is we get the M, and Cp, this is a delta T. Same as here, the rate of output is nothing but the enthalpy of the output stream. And Q is the here we give the heat. So this indicate the heat supply Q. To increase the temperature of this liquid, we give the heat supply Q. So here the Fi, Ti is the inlet and the F and T is the outlet temperature. Of course, output temperature is more than the inlet temperature because here we give the supply energy that increase the temperature of inside this water. So Q is the heat supply here. Now here TREF, that means the T reference is a reference temperature for the enthalpy calculation, and the Cp is indicate the specific heat of the system. Now this is the equation of energy conservation. Now here we consider the reference temperature is 0 and we divide whole equation by rho into Cp. So we can write this equation as V, that means here the rho Cp is the cancel and the TREF is 0. So we get only V is the constant term and d by dt into T. Here the rho Cp is the cancel, so we get Fi into Ti because TREF is 0, and minus rho and rho Cp is the cancel, so you get F in the T because TREF is 0 plus Q divided by rho Cp, so we get Q divided by rho Cp. Now in this equation we know V is equals to A into H. So by putting the value of V is equals to A into H, we get here the A is the common, is the constant, and H into T, that means here the H d by dt, remaining term is constant, same as. Now according to the derivation principle, we can derive this term, that means here the derivation of these two. So we can write this equation as first term is constant, second term derivation, plus second term is constant, that means T is constant, and first term derivation. So this is a multiplication principle of the derivation. So we get this term, and this right hand side term is same as above. Now we know the value of dH by dt, A dH by dt, because in the mass conservation we know the value of A dH by dt by equation number 1. This term dH by dt into A is nothing but Fi minus F we get from the simple liquid level tank. This is so for the stirred tank heater, the mass balance is also same as right here. So dH by dt, A dH by dt, we can write as Fi minus F. So here we write T is the same and A dH by dt is the Fi minus F. So this term is same or this term is same. Now we multiply the T term with this, so we get F into Ti minus Tf is equals to Fi Ti minus Fi. So this Tf and this Tf is cancelled. So we can write this equation as Ah dH by dt is equals to, here the Fi and this Fi is common. So we can write Ti minus T plus Q rho Cp, because Tf, Ft and Tf is the here cancel. So we get the energy balance equation for the stirred tank heater is the Ah dt by dt is equals to Fi Ti minus T is equals plus Q rho Cp. So this is a final equation for the stirred tank heater. This equation is called the energy balance equation. Now this is a equation. This point we have not specified the how heat entering to the system. That means here we have not specified. Simply we specify the we consider this is a heat supply. Now here we consider heat enter by one valve. That means here we give the steam to heat this water. That means to increase the temperature of this water. So here Q. So we can write this Q term as a, that means heat supply of the steam. We can write this FST is the flow rate of the steam and TST is indicate the temperature of this steam. That means the inlet temperature of this steam. Now we can write this as a rate of heat input, that means Q. Q is equals to UAT TST minus T. That means here U indicate the overall heat transfer coefficient. AT indicate the total area of heat transfer. That means total area this heat transfer. TST is nothing but the temperature of the inlet steam, and the T is the temperature of tank. That means the inside the water temperature is the T. So we get the Q. This is a heat input. Then by putting the value of Q in this equation, we can write A dH by dt, dt Fi Ti minus T, and this term is the Q. We can write the UAT TST minus T rho Cp. Now for the stirred tank heater, this is a equation. Now here the state variable. Here the state variable is the H and T, because both indicate the state of the system or the status of the system. Because here temperature is also vary and height H is also vary. So both indicate the state of the system. Now here the output variable is the also H and T, because because we consider it the inside temperature T and the output temperature is same. So output variable is also T and H is also output variable, because is indicate the height. And for this input variable, here the disturbance variable is the Fi and Ti, because the disturbance is created due to this Fi and Ti. So we consider the disturbance variable is the Fi and Ti. And for the stir tank heater, the manipulator variable is Q, F and Fi, because by varying the value of this Q, the F, that means the flow rate of the outlet, and the Fi inlet, we can control these two variables, that means the temperature and the height of this system. So here the control variable is the temperature and the height of the height of liquid in the tank. So these two we can control by using the Q, F, this that means the outlet flow rate, and Fi, that means the inlet flow rate. For the stir tank heater, the manipulator variable is the Q, F and Fi. Okay, so this is an example of the energy balance equation stir tank heater. Okay.